Now I try to do my kettlebell quick training, just a few minutes each morning. I try to do it when I'm not loading or unloading, because then they're already working out with these monster 1/2 inch chains and binders. But I was not sure I would be loading yesterday, so I did kettlebell, and then of course it was rush at the port. To cut a long story short, I didn't feel like training today, but then I woke up in the morning remembering how I tied down the machine, and I'm still at the Baltimore port waiting for the curfew to end. I cannot go on I-95 or I-695 before 9 a.m. I don't know, I woke up at like 5 o'clock, had too much coffee yesterday. I was checking my email and check my video, and I figured, wait a second, 6 chains, somehow I don't feel like it's okay, it's all legal, but it's just the cushion, only like 2,000 pounds, and this thing has wheels, right? And whenever a machine has wheels, especially this size, kidding, it can be a concern because they're prone to shifting. Anyway, I just wanted to show you something. So I ended up adding 2 more chains at the top at those 2 newly discovered tie downs. But I just wanted to mention again a very important point of properly angling your chains, right? You must not have more chains pulling in one direction than in the other, because they will be constantly getting loose. Like, see, I use the slight angle here, right, towards the front in the beginning of the trailer, like you normally do. You pull it this way, and then in the back you pull it in the opposite angle. All right, and you try to make the angle the same. Well, here I would go this way somewhere, so this makes actually perfect sense. But what I mean is that you don't want to have the angle over there like 30 degrees, and over here like 60 degrees, because that would be wrong. And then over here I had this one was going straight, right? This one was over here, which makes perfect sense for 3 pairs of chains, because those 2 on each end, they balance each other out, right? And this one pulls straight, so that means the chains will be tight, right? That's the mistake I used to do when I was just starting. I didn't pay attention, and some of my chains, there was like 4 chains pulling this way and only 2 chains pulling backwards, and then I like, why are they getting loose all the time? So now I know this, and basically when I decided to add chains in there, that presented a problem, like knowing what I know now, because this chain was over here, right? Ideally, I want that chain to be in the same position, because this one is straight, right? So I can angle that chain like this, for example, while that one is over here, right? So, and you see what I did? I had to undo this chain and use this. So now we have an angle here, basically pulling the machine backwards, and actually, which is pretty cool because there's a wall in there. So this chain now, angle this way, is much more useful because it will prevent this heavy machine from going forward when I hit my brakes, when I see Tim Hortons. Just kidding. I hate Tim Hortons. When I see Starbucks, yeah. So this is good. And now we just use this chain to compensate for that motion. And I angle it this way a little bit, you see? And over there, the eyes were too small, so I used my my clevises over here. And as you can see, I did some rubber, and it's beautiful. But anyway, one more trick I learned is that when you deal with these heavy chains, it's always better to put the binder at the top. Like you hook up this part, right? And then you grab this end with your right hand and you pull the chain as tight as possible, and you try to get it in here, like to the tightest spot. Because if you try to do it the opposite way, like if you hook the bottom one first and then you try to hook up this one, there'll be a lot of chain, and it's very difficult to make it tight. And when it's not tight, when you connect it originally, you will run out of thread when you try to tighten this, and that's like really frustrating. If you ever see guys like on a trailer like this, and they're doing something like you don't understand. Why are they like tightening chains, undoing them, tightening, undoing? That's what they're doing, because they didn't connect them properly. Like the chain was loose, and then there's just not enough thread to make it tight. And so now I'm extremely happy, because now I have like, so yeah, of course there's another chain on the other side, so there's extra pair. So now once again I have 3 pairs of short chains and 1 long chain. So now I feel very happy and very confident, and of course I'm doing these, and I'm doing this, and I'm thinking some happy thoughts about the new trailer. Some of you guys will know why, right? Anyway, I still have time till the end of the curfew. I'm gonna go inside, maybe grab a quick breakfast, because I'll be driving all day. The idea is to get to the border, and that's like 5-6 hours. So I'll be going through Harrisburg, and then US 15 towards New York, and then 86, 390, and then I have that typical detour like 63, 33 in New York. But at least I'm just like 9'6" wide or something, and the legal height. So this is a very easy load. You're not sticking out. Like if you remember that big cat truck I did a while, like a month ago, bringing from US, like a truck without the box, right? That one was 13 feet 6 inches wide. That one really required constant attention, because I would be, if I had that truck, the wheels would be close to this yellow line, So I was always cringing when I'm in the curb lane and people pass me, like big trucks pass me. I'm always going into the shoulder, Like with this one, I don't have to worry. All right, all the instruments look good. The time now is 10 minutes past 9, so the curfew is over, and I'm about to leave the TA Travel Center in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Ready? I think I am. And there's an old Russian joke about former commander Chepaev and his assistant Petka, where this Peter fellow says, Chepaev, instrument. And Chepaev says, 18. And Peter says, what's 18? And Chepaev says, what instrument? Oh boy, I remember this since I was like 10 years old. It's about them stealing a plane from the White Guards, and they exchange messages. One guy is in the cockpit, another one is somewhere in the back, and they do like the pre-flight check, right? And he says, Василий Иванович, прибор 18. А что 18? А какой прибор? Never mind. Moving on. Yeah, by the way, somebody did notice the increased volume of my exhaust, and it's true, because now the pipe is kind of like closer to the ground, so the exhaust note became more distinct, and actually the note itself changed. Brake check. Okay, I had a quick breakfast in the morning, just coffee, 3 eggs over easy, and bacon. And by the way, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but coffee is bad to drink after a good meal, because basically you spend money on some meat or eggs or whatever, and if you drink coffee right after that, your body cannot metabolize those some of the very important nutrients in that food. I read about this before. It's a known fact among athletes. You know, so if you're spending your money on good food like a steak or something, don't drink coffee right after. Drink it before. And that's what I did. But you know, she brought me a whole kettle, like 5-gallon kettle of coffee, and I only managed to take like 4 sips before my eggs arrived. And then of course it's sitting there once you're done, right? So I did take two what is this? So I took 2 sips of coffee. Over here, look, we have 2 cars, Baltimore police. Doing something. These are just empty trucks. And I know a lot of truckers like this. You know, you're sitting at pretty much at your during your rest time, right? And there's cops show up and they say, "Hey, can we see your logbook?" You know, and that's always a chance, you know, to shoot some breeze, strike up a conversation, maybe get a ticket or 2 in the process. You know, everybody likes this. Yeah, I thought I would be riding with 6 axles, but all my permits say 7. So I'm gonna put some pressure in the pusher axle. The ramp to I-95. Let the fun begin. Driving far because I could not get fuel at the TA, like my fuel card did not work here, right? I'm gonna stop stop at Tom's Mobile, exit 4 in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I called them yesterday. I said, do you guys take TCH cards? And the lady said, what cards? I said, TCH, Tom, Charlie, Henry, TCH. Oh, okay, yeah, we do, okay. Bye-bye, Baltimore. Pennsylvania. This is my first stop at Tom's Mobile in Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania, exit 4 of I-83. I wish fuel would be cheaper. Today it's $2.63 a gallon. So it cost me $3.45 times 1.3. So it's pretty much like 500 Canadian. But it's the same price as I would have paid in Canada anyway, so. I just have to check my chain. That's nothing. When this thing rolls on the ground, oh, see, beautiful. I like this. It's like pulling opposite directions. I cannot even tighten it anymore. So good. I don't feel like working today. This is already the second stop for the day, and I only did 89 kilometers, 50 miles. This is Duncannon, Pennsylvania, Flying J. But I had my, I had those sports pants on. You know, some of these pants, like artificial, not silk, but what is it, like, I was dying in those. It's so hot, so I had to stop here. I checked the load, and then a guy next to me, after I stopped, there's a you can probably see in the mirror, it's a black Freightliner, pretty old. I think it's Century. Yeah, Freightliner Century. And this guy has a lift axle, but just with single tires. It's like 12,000 pound lift axle. I was actually thinking about brake taking. I was thinking about adding that kind of an axle to my old previous International, because it was pretty cheap. You can get them for like $4 grand instead of 20 for what I have now. But this guy, what drew my attention, he has a flip axle in the back, and he has like air lifts on XL1 and XL3. So now his XL1 on the trailer is up, and he have XL2 and 3 down, and he has his flip axle down, which doesn't make any sense because all he has is a military like armored vehicle. I know they're not that heavy. I don't know. Basically, I guess he didn't want to pay somebody to flip the axle. But I asked him, I said, and I see the sign, his plates. Why did I say signs? Because somebody might be interested to know that in Russian, license plates are called номерные знаки. Номерной means number, знак means sign. So they say, hey, где твой знак? where's your tags or plates? But in English it's a totally different word. Like, that's why you can never translate word for word, right? You have to translate the context, because if somebody just says, you know, znaki in Russian, that's not signs in English, right? Because he's talking about a vehicle, so that's tags or plates. But anyway, but this guy says, oh geez, I do like 90,000 pounds, 100,000 pounds. I said, what? You can do 100,000 pounds with this Freightliner Century with a 12,000 pound lift axle, and you have a flip in the back? How is that possible? If my axles are much stronger than his, right? And all I can do is maybe 87,000 in the States, maybe. All right, now this intersection, I think sooner or later they're gonna install a set of lights in here, because the speed limit from there is 45 miles per hour, and there's like signs on the pavement say slow down. Oh, actually in front of me, slow down. People are flying and they pick up speed right after they go over the bridge there. I see 45 miles per hour. They do like 60, you know, and then they start honking at you, you know. But very hard to get out of this truck stuff. This guy was like so unsure of himself. All right, so I'm leaving this one. This is what, 22? And I'm taking 1115 north. And now this here is my favorite stretch. Like after I turn, it's pretty long. It's like 30-40 miles, and it's all flat as a table, you know. And you have a river on the right. Of course, the speed limit is only 55 miles per hour, but I just stay around that, and you know, nobody bothers me. Just look at the scenery, look at the river. And also here they have Amish people. You know, those stubborn people that refuse to accept the fact that mankind went past buggies and bicycles. I think somebody forgot to tell them. Maybe it's just a communication problem as usual, you know? Lack of communication. And so they had a big meeting one day, and hey, what is this? We see all these metal objects flying very fast on these gray pavements. Like, what is that? And usually there's like a person in the front holding something that looks like a donut, and he honks occasionally, he or she. Can we get one of those? Well, let's do a vote. No, sorry, still gotta use horses. But hey, Jim, your right leg is still good. You can use a bicycle, but that's it. So we'll reconvene in another 5 years. See how these guys are doing with their metal objects then. Well, I stopped for a break in a small place called Steam Valley, Pennsylvania. this is right after a huge hill. Like the hill is about, I don't know, like 7 miles. So that way is south. That's where I came from. That's my truck is still in the mirror over there. And there's a truck stop there, but I never go there because the road is like 40-degree, you know, goes up and down, and it's all dirt, very narrow there. I just stop here, very wide shoulder, and I got my camera out because I was looking. Of course, you cannot see it with the GoPro, but there's the highway over there, right? The freeway. What are we? 15, right? But then there's that mountain over there, and there's like a valley. I mean, just the clearing between the trees, you know, the clouds, the sky. So I thought it might make a good picture if I go over there, kind of like a top, and there's another part of freeway and this way, like closer, like where the car is traveling now, closer to the trees. That's southbound, but there's also northbound lanes in here once you go on that little hill in here. And so I grabbed my camera, went there, and just took a bunch of pictures. I'm gonna check them out once I get to the truck stop. Oh, and my GPS is, see, it shows 164. That's kilometers, basically, exactly, pretty much 100 miles. That's the distance to Dansville, to TA in Dansville. Of course, I'm going downhill. That's why the truck accelerates like crazy. So my weight is, just to remind you guys, my weight is 112,000 pounds. That's my gross, 112. And the machine I have weighs just a couple of pounds over 66,000 pounds. Dansville. Look, diesel is cheaper than at the Tom's Mobile where I was. And that should be good enough. I ran the air conditioning all day today. And it was very windy. So on the one hand, I cannot drive too slow because there's hills and I have weight. And on the other, I cannot drive fast because the wind is just killing my fuel mileage. I was in Baltimore this morning, right? I left Baltimore at 10 minutes after 9, and now it's basically 20 minutes to 6. Yeah, okay. No, not exactly 4 hours, like more like, what is this, 3 plus 5, 8.5, and then breaks. Yeah, like only 7 hours of driving. So as long as I get out of New York by noon tomorrow, see all these crazy regulations, right? I cannot go into Ontario, because Friday after 3, no oversized loads in the summer. And so I can stay in New York, but Saturday after 12 noon, oversized loads cannot travel in New York. That was basically another vid with this cat mine truck, and I'll show unloading Monday. Have a good weekend.